Today's video is going to be all about how I like to shop on eBay. I've been shopping on eBay for almost 10 years. I bought my first bag on eBay in 2007 and it's actually this bag right here. I can't believe that I almost got this 10 years ago. Time flies, I guess, right? So this is a vintage tooled leather bag and I remember exactly where I was when I bought this. I was at Nick's house and we were watching a USC-UCLA game and I was not interested, so I was online shopping like I used to do all the time. But anyway, this is actually one purchase that has stayed with me over the years. So yeah, this was my first eBay purchase. I want to share with you guys kind of how I use eBay and how I search for things and stuff. I'm either buying stuff from brands that I really like at a discounted price, or I'm buying really unique vintage stuff. So those are the two kind of categories that I utilize. So let's get right into it. The first thing that I'd like to share is that I think it's really important that before you even go onto eBay, you know specifically what you're looking for. eBay is not like just walking around a shop kind of, you know, browsing or whatever. It's really hard to do that on that platform because it's so saturated with stuff. So when I shop, I always have something in mind, and usually I'll have a brand in mind. When I'm searching things on eBay, I always make sure that I type in my size, the brand that I'm looking for, the style, and maybe even the color or fabric that I'm looking for. And this really narrows down the search results, and I love that. Sometimes I'll just type in the brand, my size, and the type of item that I'm looking for if I want to kind of spend more time browsing. But for the most part, I type in exactly what I'm looking for, and then I'm not browsing through pages and pages of stuff. And I always make sure a couple of things are checked in the sidebar. I usually only search for things that are in the United States because I don't want to pay a large shipping fee from overseas. And then sometimes I'll put a price range that I'm looking into. When it comes to the sellers, it's always really important to do your research about them. So this means going and looking at their rating and looking to see how many neutral or negative feedbacks they've gotten over the period of their selling history. I usually don't ever buy things from sellers that are under like 96% because it can just be a headache and then it's not worth it for me. I'm not getting a deal because I'm spending so much time and energy trying to work with this seller. Something else you might want to keep in mind is if the seller accepts returns. I honestly have never purchased anything that I have wanted to return. I usually am really careful about what I'm buying on eBay. I do a lot of research. Thus far, I've never returned anything. So just as a little recap, when I'm buying new pieces, I will type in the specific item that I'm looking for in the description. I'll make sure that I have checked that I only want stuff that is from the US so I don't have to pay additional shipping. I pay close attention to the fabric, any information they have in the description, and the buyer's info. And if I find something that doesn't have a very descriptive description, say for example the buyer doesn't list the measurements or the fabric, I'll ask the buyer, those things, because those are important, and those are things that if you were shopping in a store, you would ask the person that worked at the store. Some recent clothing items that I've purchased on eBay have been this really cool top from Free People. I also recently picked up black jeans from the brand BDG. Most of my current pairs of jeans have been eBay finds, but they're from brands that I had previously had, so I knew that they fit me well. I don't think I would buy a pair of jeans online that I didn't have experience, with the brand prior, because I'm really picky about the fit and style of my jeans. These jeans were actually brand new with tags, and they were like 20 bucks if I remember correctly. Super discounted. I want to say they're like $60 to $80 if you buy them new in the store. So that was rad, and I love them and wear them all the time. Another piece that I have purchased on eBay is my sunglasses that I wear constantly. These are vintage Ray-Bans, and this is kind of like a whole nother, genre almost of eBay shopping, is buying vintage designer stuff. You have to be really careful and make sure that you're buying from a really trusted seller. And for me, I bought these from this guy and he was selling them from his personal collection. He wasn't like a eBay small business kind of seller. He didn't have a ton of feedback. So, but they were a really good deal, and I had been looking for this style for a long time. He had a return policy, like a 10-day return policy or something. So I bought them and then I took them to a Ray-Ban store and got them authenticated. So that's always a great option too. If you're buying something that's a designer piece on eBay, check their return policy. If you have any questions, you can take it to the store and make sure that it really is a real piece. That way you kind of have a safety net when you're buying something that's a little bit more expensive. So I bought these sunglasses 2 or 3 years ago, and they were a little bit pricey, but not as much as a new pair of Ray-Bans in the store. But before that, I would buy like $10 sunglasses here, you know, $5 sunglasses there, and I was like really wasteful with those because they were so cheap. So I would break them or not take care of them. But with these, I have taken care of these majorly, and I love them. I feel like the shape really works for the shape of my face, and they're just so classic. When you're looking for vintage pieces on eBay, it's always really important to pay attention to the measurements and the pictures and, you know, anything that could be damaged. So usually the seller will list that in the description or show it in a photo. So, but I mean, you have to keep in mind that it is a used piece, so it's not going to be pristine or perfect. Another thing that could be helpful to utilize is the tab that I think it's called People Also Viewed. I've actually found that really helpful, especially when looking for a certain kind of vintage bag, like a market bag or even a bag like this leather one. It'll kind of show you things that are similar, and you can find really great stuff that way. So I hope this video was helpful. Please make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you're not already, and give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful to you in any way. And if you have any additional questions or comments, then please leave them below and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!